All right, guys. So today we're going to learn how to make a goldfish in Illustrator. So here I kind of listed the different tools we're going to use. You can try to make the exact same goldfish as me, or you can make your own. But what I do suggest is you make a color palette beforehand. You want 4 colors that are really the same color, just kind of different levels of that color. And then you want kind of a white color and then a like charcoal color. So you're welcome to kind of make your color palette right now. You don't have to make a goldfish, you can make a bluefish, doesn't matter. But you do want kind of this level of color happening. So let's get started. Oh, let me show you what workspace I'm working in. So I am in Window, Workspace. I'm in Essentials Classic. That's what I'm at. And I'm going to go ahead and reset my Essentials Classic so it looks exactly like how yours will look. Cool. Okay. So this is a fish we're going to make, but I'm going to shrink it down so that I can remake it here. So let me do this. Expand. Perfect. Okay. Let's scale this little guy down. Oh, hold on. Yeah, that's good. He's just out of the way. Okay. So first thing is we need to make the fish's body. And to do that, we're going to learn about the Pathfinder panel. But to start off, I want you to make a circle. It doesn't matter the color, just make a circle. And if you hold down Shift as you make a circle, you can get the perfect ratio like this. And then I want you to hold down Alt, click, drag to make a copy of the circle. If you hold down Shift while you're holding down Alt, you can make sure that it doesn't jump to the side. It stays directly below the circle. And I want you to move it down just a little bit below. And what we can do is grab both of these and we can go to where the stroke and fill is and swap it so that you can see what we're looking at is we're going to make the body of the goldfish in the middle of these circles. So it doesn't matter how thin you want your goldfish or how fat, but place them like that. So we have these 2 circles overlapping. So we want the shape inside these circles where these circles overlap, but we don't care about the rest of the circles. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab both of these and we're going to open up our Pathfinder tool or panel, which if we go to Window, I'm just going to scroll down and choose Pathfinder. And here, these basically are different ways to get shapes to interact with one another. We want to click this guy, Intersect, which creates a compound shape from 2 shapes that are overlapping. So I'm going to click that, and boom. It's cut away the excess, and it's given us this shape, which we're going to switch the stroke and fill. Is going to be the base of our goldfish. Awesome. Now me, I already have a color palette, so I'm going to kind of make sure this is colored as I'm going. So I'm going to click on this football shape. If I click eye, I'll get the eyedropper tool, which allows me to click any color on my canvas to use. So I'm going to click the little kind of medium goldfish color. Perfect. And I'm going to zoom in. So here's the body of the goldfish. I think next I want to make the lips. So for our lips, we're going to get rid of the Pathfinder tool. We don't need that right now. I'm going to grab a rounded rectangle and I'm just going to stretch it a little bit. And I want it to be like pill shaped. And I'm going to rotate it a bit now. And then if I hold down Alt, see the double arrows, click and drag, I can make a copy of it. And I'm going to rotate that the different way or the opposite way. So basically I get like 2 little pill shapes that are kind of creating like a V, a sideways V. And to me, that kind of makes like a little bit of a lip pucker shape. So I'm going to put them next to each other. And you can space them out as much as you want. Oops, I didn't mean to square that. So maybe I make this guy a little more open. Perfect. And now what I want to do is join these together because right now they're 2 separate little pill shapes. So that's when we use the Pathfinder again. I'm going to grab them both. I'm going to go and grab my Pathfinder, which we're going to use this enough that I'm actually going to click and drag the panel and I'm going to put it here. So you can organize your workspace based on how you're working, but I just dropped it here so I have these tools. So using Pathfinder, I'm now going to click the Unite, which that basically merges 2 shapes together so they become 1 shape. Perfect. And now I need to choose my lip color, which I have this shape selected. I click eye, to grab my paint, or sorry, eyedropper tool, and I'm gonna click this like darker brown color, which I've decided is kind of my lip color. And then I just move it into position where I want it. Now, you can have your lip kind of sitting out like this, but I like to have it sitting inside so it looks a little more natural. But you'll notice part of the football is visible. That doesn't make sense. So if you click the body of the fish now, and then click our eraser tool, you can double click on the eraser tool if you need to make it smaller or bigger, whatever you need. I can then click right here where that orange spot is peeking out. Boom. And it just kind of pushed that back so that I get my lip shape. Awesome. Okay, so we got the lips, we got the little body. Let's do the eyeball. So eyeball's pretty straightforward. Let's grab an ellipse tool. I'm going to go ahead and click my eyedropper, which is I on the keyboard, and click this white color. It's like an off-white, so that I have that loaded. And grab my circle. I'm going to go about where I want the eye. Hold down Alt and Shift. That'll make it stay in that exact spot or grow from that spot and stay the same, kind of like a consistent size. So make it as big as I want. Perfect, and I can move it around. So that's the white of the eye. But we want to put like the cute little inside of the eye. And there's different ways to do it, but the best way I've found is we're actually going to learn about a feature, which is called the draw inside feature. So sometimes you have a shape and you want to create a design inside the shape. This is the easy way to do that. So I'm going to click on the eye. So I only have the eye selected. I'm going to go right below my swatches. I see this draw inside mode. I'm going to click that. And now anything I do will only appear inside this eye. So I'm going to grab another ellipse tool. I'm going to go over to my color palette. I'm going to click I to load my black. Go back over. So we're in this draw mode, so it's only drawing in here in the eye. If I add a pupil anywhere, I can move it around. It's only happening inside this eye. So this is great because I can move around the pupil wherever I want. I can make copies of fishes and make fishes with pupils at different positions. I can grow the pupil huge, which actually kind of looks cute. I like that. So anyway, this feature is awesome. And to get out of this feature, you just click on, To get out of this feature, you just go and you click back on Draw Normal. But this is something that we will be using a lot. So we've looked at Pathfinder so far and Draw Inside. So that's great. So next thing is I want to give my little fish an eyebrow because I like to give things characters. So I'm going to grab a round rectangle, create like a long pill shape, and I'm going to grab one of my darker brown colors. And again, you don't have to use the colors I'm using. You could be doing like a darker green if you're doing like a green fish, but this is what I'm doing. So I have this little pill color, and I can put it over my fish's eye, and that makes him kind of look concerned, right? But I want my fish to be happy. So I'm going to click on the little pill, and I want to go to Effect, Warp, and I want to go to Arch. And here we get this warp panel, and there's tons of different things you can do here, tons of different effects. I want an arch right now. And here on the bend kind of levels, I can pull this down or up. So I can make like a very like concerned fish. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm gonna make a concerned fish. He's very concerned. Something's terrible's happened. But you could make a happy fish. I already made a happy fish, so I'm making a concerned fish now. Awesome. Okay, so this is the body. And the next part I'd say is adding the gills, which for that, let's use our pen tool. We're going to switch. I'm using my dark brown. I'm just on stroke. I'm going to set my stroke up here to 4. I think that's a good size. It depends on your artboard. And if I click on stroke, okay, so next we're going to make the fin, the back fin. So to do that, Same process when we made the body. Let's start with 2 circles. Doesn't matter size right now because we can always adjust it. But the second circle, what we're trying to do is make like a crescent moon shape. So this looks good to me. We're going to grab both, but instead of when we're in our Pathfinder hitting the intersect, we're actually going to hit the minus front. It takes the front shape and subtracts it from the back shape. That will give us this crescent moon shape. I'm going to make this bigger. And I'm going to go ahead and hit my eyedropper tool and click the body so I can make it the same color. Move this into position. So there we have like a little back fin. If you want, you can use your direct selection white arrow. Click on this back fin and there you'll see the different anchor points. And you can grab this like middle anchor point and you can pull this out, push it in. You can grab the handlebars and bring them in. It depends on what you want the fin to look like. So I might move these in and maybe take these outer ones and kind of pull them out to give it kind of a more cutesy fin look. It's whatever you want. So there you go. There's my cute little fin, back fin. Then for the arm fins, or sorry, the front fins, I would just actually use a pen tool. And I'm going to set this as a lip color so you can see it. Click somewhere in the middle here, and I'm going to actually make like a triangle shape. Like that. That's what I'm going to do. So that's kind of a fin shape, but this is a very soft fish. So I'm going to click on this with my black arrow, grab my white direct selection arrow, and you'll see these little meatballs appear in the corners. When these appear, it's allowing you to click on an anchor point and drag and round it. So I'm going to keep this one sharp, but I think these bottom ones, I'm going to round them a little bit. Then I kind of get this like cute little fin shape thing. And of course, if I want, I can click in here and adjust stuff more, but there's my little fin shape. Awesome. And what I can do is I can make duplicates of this, make a second fin shape. And if I right click on it, I can go arrange, send to back, which means it goes back behind all my other shapes. And the only reason you do that, and I'm doing that, is so I can create some sense of depth. So this front fin, I'm going to make it a lighter orange, not as light as the body. I'm going to grab my eyedropper tool and click on this kind of darkish orange. And so there I've started to create some layering. So this is in the front, that back fin back there, you know, I could pivot it if I wanted to make it look like he was doing some weird fast swimming thing. But it just adds an extra level to the character. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so for the top fin, same idea as this guy. I would make like a triangle. And I'm actually going to make sure the triangle connects kind of towards the back so it fades. And I'm going to click on this triangle, right click, and go arrange, send to back. Right now it looks like he has a mohawk, so we got to fix that. And I would fix this the same way we made this fin down here. Click on it, then click the white arrow. And I can click on individual points and round them. I might also click on this point down here and move it around. Click on this anchor point up here. If you're not finding a handlebar on a point, or you want a point that's sharp to be round, up here you can actually come. All right, so next thing is You'll see over here, I added like the little spines of the fish's like fins and stuff. So we're gonna add that. And we're gonna do it the same way we added the pupil in the eye. So let's start with this back fin. We're gonna click on it, and then we're gonna click the button that says draw inside right below our stroke and fill. So now we're only drawing inside here. And what we're gonna do is we're going to grab a pen tool, and let's make sure we're using a darker color than our fins. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the eye and grab this brown, make sure that's on stroke. For stroke, I'm gonna put my stroke as 4. And what we're gonna do is I'm going to make a line that's kind of diagonal here to the kind of fish's fins, or it kind of goes along it. And you notice you click on it and it'll click on this. That's because this line is actually hyper fixated inside this. So to get to the line, you have to double click. Now we're inside the fin. So we have this line. We are going to create another line. We're going to grab the reflect tool. We're going to hold down Alt and click the very middle of this fin. And then we're going to make sure it's on horizontal and click copy. Now we have 2 of these. I'm going to click one, hold down Shift and click the other. And we're going to create a blend, which means it creates several versions of these between each other. So it's basically making our lives easier. We don't have to do it ourselves, making more. The computer does it for us. So we're going to go Object, Blend, Blend Options. And we want to go Specified Steps. And I'd say put 2 or 3 right here. Click OK. And notice nothing happened. That's because we have to go back to Blend and hit Make, because we only told the computer what we wanted it to do. We didn't actually hit the go button. So Object, Blend, Make. Boom. Perfect. So that's given the little kind of spines for the back fin. So we can go up here. Everything's grayed out because we were hyper fixated inside this fin. So we just have to go up to the top of your panel and hit the little back button here. Go back another level. And perfect. So we're out of there. And you're gonna do the same thing for this front fin and the top fin. And so I'm actually gonna want both of these to be the kind of same, like darkish brown. I'm trying to make sure each like part looks different, but that's what I'm gonna do for these top 2 ones. So let's start here, click on it, click the draw inside little panel, grab my pen tool. I'm gonna make sure I've loaded a darker brown that's gonna show up well, make sure I'm on stroke. So I just swap it. Make sure the stroke is at 4. Grab my pen tool. I'm going to start at the front and just kind of click, make a little line. And once I click again, it's not going to let me hit that line until I double click. So let's double click so we get inside the fin. And I'm going to just make a copy of this and pull this down. So I held down Alt and dragged a second line down here. And then if I click one, hold down Shift and click the other, I'm gonna then have them both selected and go to blend options. And I think I'm gonna give like 5 steps because there's more space. Click OK and go Object, Blend, Make. And then I can go back. There we go. And let's do the same idea here with this little fin. So draw inside. Let's grab a darker color, stroke 4, and let's create a little line. Double click to get inside the fin. I'm going to make a copy of this little line. Move him down here, and I could rotate him a bit if I wanted. Perfect. And then hold down Shift and grab both of them. Go to Object, Blend, Blend Options, and I'll just make 2 in between these guys because I think it's a smaller space. Click OK and go Object, Blend, Make. Perfect, and I can go back. So there I've kind of added just a cute little detail, the little spines and the fins. I can always click on these guys, and if I double click, I'll go inside that fin, and I can always change things. So I could double click on one of these lines and move it and see how it moves everything. So you can always go back and adjust these. Awesome. And the last thing I need to do is add a little white. So I just load white into my fill color, and I'm just going to create a little white kind of eye highlight here because it's cute. And then I can just use my pen tool lastly to add gills. And I'm just going to click and just kind of pen out a gill kind of shape like this. And I can always use my white arrow to go in and adjust it if it doesn't look great. Perfect. And gills, I'm just going to make 3 copies of them. So I can just hold down Alt and make copies. And there I have my little fish. And you guys are welcome to kind of like do more than this. Maybe you want to add bubbles, maybe make multiple fish, a little fish scene. You can always double click on these shapes that have draw in sides, and you can move around eyes and whatnot. So anyway, you guys are going to make a fish. Please note that your fish needs to have all the elements that I created in mine. I need to be able to see that you used warp panel, the draw inside, Pathfinder, blending mode, and your pen tool when doing this fish. Okay, awesome. Get to it.